All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's workbook lesson from A Course in Miracle number 107. We are just getting on down the road. And my name is Oliver Blue, and I am your guide through this 365-day lessons that we are embarking on. And we are taking another giant step today up the ladder, in which the tiny mad idea of separation led us down back in eternity past. And it gives me great pleasure to be here. And thank you for being here with me this morning. And so, as we look at today's lesson, 107, we're going to kind of turn our attention, or maybe we're going to continue to keep our attention on truth. And today's lesson says truth will correct. So truth is a correction. Truth will correct all error in my mind. Truth will correct all error in my mind. So today, as we get started, we thank you again for joining us and for being on this journey with us. And when we look at the lesson, or the lesson for today, the subject here is truth. And truth will correct all error in my mind. And remember, in previous lessons, we learned that sin, as we have learned it, is a man-made idea. It's an illusionary idea. Sin does not exist. It's just an idea that was made up from the source of a separated mind, a mind that believes that is separate from its source. But what the Course does advocate is error or mistakes. And mistakes can be corrected. Errors can be corrected. But from the concept of sin, sin can't be corrected. Sin can't be corrected from the idea of separation. And so right off the bat here, we want to establish the reality here that that truth, which is constant and unalterable and eternal, when it enters into a mind that has embraced separation, that truth has the ability to correct all errors, all perceptions, all ways of thinking. Because remember, errors are basically the error starts in the thinking. When we see a manifestation of an error, that's just the effect of the cause, which is the wrong thinking or wrong interpretation or wrong perception or false perception. And so truth will correct error in our mind. And that's where the error is. That's where the mistake is made. So it's going all the way back to the original idea of separation, when it says into eternity past, there's crept into the mind the idea of separation. And so error happens in the mind. So we identifying the origin or the cause or the real source of the error, which is in our thinking. So the thinking is what needs correction. The body doesn't need correction. All the externals are just effects. They don't need corrections. Relationships don't need corrections. The error in our thinking is what needs to be corrected. Our perception is what needs to be shifted. And that's what the miracle is, when there's a shift in perception based on truth, based on reality. That is what the Course calls a miracle. So we're kind of like all these things, concepts, and all these concepts and ideas they kind of tie into together, and it makes sense to where you finally come to the conclusion that it's where reality is concerned, there's only oneness. It's only the one thing. And so it starts out by saying what can correct illusions but the truth. So again, here it's identifying errors with illusions or mistakes with illusion, meaning that which is not permanent, that which is not real. Okay? So anything outside of truth, and there's nothing outside of truth, that's why it's called an illusion. It's a false perception. It's based on an interpretation. Not from a place of oneness, but from a place of duality. And so right at the beginning here, it says what can correct illusions but the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. And what are errors but illusions? So it's here, see, it is putting all of that in the same boat. Mistakes, errors, illusions. Putting them in the same boat. It said, what are errors but illusions that remain unrecognized? When an illusion or an error is recognized for what they are. So when an error or an illusion or a mistake is recognized for what they are, it's recognized because it's recognized through the eyes of truth. Okay? Notice here it says it remains unrecognized for what it is. Meaning what? What are errors but illusions that are what? Unrecognized. Excuse me. That means that it needs what? Only need a little light, need a little truth. It says, where but truth has entered, errors immediately what? Disappear. So when there is a vision, when there is an insight based on the truth, based on that which is real, based on that which is knowledge, correct knowledge, it says, when that enters, errors disappear. Where enters where? Into the mind of the thinker. So it is the entering into our minds of truth that we are able to correct errors and illusions. Where there's no truth entering in, there is no correction. It can't be recognized without the truth. So that's why the sharing of the truth is so important. It was through the sharing of the truth with me that caused light to shine upon the error that I had in my thinking. And so there was a decision still to be made. And that is the process that goes on all the time. Do we have what? Truth entering into our minds? Or are we only allowing what the world is perpetrating as truth to enter into our minds? So there has to be a sharing of the truth in order for minds to wake up, for minds to have what? The light that they need to what? Make a different decision and to wake up. And that's why platforms like these, ministries like these, organizations like these are so vital, where the truth is being what? The truth is being shared out in these, in these platforms, in these digital streets where people hang out, where people get their information. And so that's why Truly Foundation is so critical to, and useful to God's plan for salvation. Why? Because we're the distributors of truth. We share, like we said, advanced spirituality, or we share the truth from the Course in Miracles perspective, from a universal perspective. And so where truth is entered, error disappears. They merely vanish, leaving not a trace by which to be remembered. It's like when the light, you walk into a dark room, completely dark, and you hit the light switch. Immediately, what? Once the lights appear, the darkness disappears back into the what? Nothingness that it is. Truth has the same impact, where it enters into a mind and is embraced. That which was there prior, the error, the mistake, the illusion that was there prior to the entrance of the truth, it immediately disappears back into what? The nothingness that it is, because it was only a temporary idea. It says they are gone. What are gone? Errors are gone, because without belief they have no life. What gives life to an illusion? What gives life to an error, a mistake, or a mistake? Our belief. What gives life to a belief in separation? Our belief. So separation in and of itself is not anything. It has no movement. But when we give belief to it, or when we give belief to anything that is what? Outside of truth, we give life to it, or a temporary expression to it, because it's only temporary. It's not permanent. We see, because light and truth needs no belief. Only error, mistakes, and illusions need belief, because they're nothing. But truth needs no belief. It needs no defense. Error and illusions, as well as what? As well as mistakes, they need what? They need defense, because what? They're not the truth. And so they disappear to nothingness, returning whence they came. So illusions and mistakes and error come from nothingness. Just like you look at the body, our physical body, right? They say ashes to ashes, dust to dust, that the body returns back to the dust from which it came. And that's a reality. These bodies that we have are not real. They are illusionary, temporary manifestations that can become useful. They're very useful. But they're only beneficial when they're used in the right way, for the right purpose. And so when we try to convert these temporary bodies into our identification, meaning who we are or what we are, when we try to make these bodies be what we are, that's where we enter into what? Suffering, because they cannot be. Because what we are has already been established, and what we are timeless and formless beings, and we are eternal. So to try to take something temporary and make it eternal, it's impossible. It's insane to try to do it, but we try to do it out of ignorance, out of conditioning, and without the knowledge of the truth. But when the knowledge of the truth enter into our mind, it corrects the error. This is the process that we're going through in these lessons. We are allowing the truth of A Course in Miracles to enter into our current way of thinking, so that corrections can be made. It says that truth will correct all errors, and the errors are in our minds, the way we perceive, and our perceptions determine what our actions and our feelings and influences how we feel and what we experience. So, but it all starts with what? Our thoughts. Forgive me there. And so They disappear to nothingness, returning from whence they came. From dust to dust, they come and go, for only truth remains. Wow. That is a poem. Let me read that again. And so they disappear to nothingness, returning from whence they came. From dust to dust, they come and go, for only truth remains. That is a poem. That is poetic. It rhymes. Okay. So that which came from nothingness return to nothingness, because only truth will remain. That's why we don't have to defend the truth. Only the truth will remain. Only God's purpose shall prevail. We talked about that scriptural verse that says what? Many are the plans that are in man's heart. Many are the what? Mistakes, the errors, and the illusions that are in a man's heart. But only the purpose of God shall prevail. Only the truth shall remain. Only reality shall remain. Is unalterable. Can you imagine what a state of mind without illusion is? Can you imagine experiencing a state of mind without any error, without any mistakes, without any illusion? Can you imagine going through a day without being bombarded with thoughts, low vibrational thoughts, thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, thoughts of doubt, thoughts of pain, hurt, sickness, thoughts of, that don't equate to the thoughts of God? Can you imagine going through a day without any of them? Where our state of mind is totally focused and aware only to the level and to the status of our true self. Thoughts that only converse or commune with the real, that which is knowledge, that which is true, that which is love, that which is unalterable, that which is eternal, that which is oneness, that which is changeless, that which only God creates, that which is beyond learning, beyond time and space, that has no opposite, no beginning, no end, that merely is the truth. Can you imagine going through a whole day with just communing with the truth in every moment? What would that feel like? It says, can you imagine what a state of mind without illusion is? How it would feel? What would that feel like? Try to remember when there was a time in your life, perhaps a minute or maybe even less, when nothing came to interrupt your peace. When you were certain you were loved and safe. Can you imagine a time in your life, or just a moment in your life, when all you felt was safety and peace and contentment and fulfillment? If just for a moment. It says, try to remember that time. Perhaps a minute or even less, when nothing came to interrupt your peace. When you were absolutely certain you were loved and safe. It says, then try to picture what it would be like to have that moment be extended to the end of time, into eternity. That you will remain in that state of mind. Can you imagine being in that state of mind of complete safety and complete loveliness from now to the end of time, from now to eternity? What would that feel like? You see, just take that, just from now to eternity, that you only hold thoughts of safety and loveliness. And he said, then let that sense of quiet that you felt be multiplied 100 times. So multiply that 100 times. And it said, and then be multiplied another 100 more. So it said, can you imagine being in a state of tranquility and total bliss through eternity, into eternity. Can you imagine what that would feel like? What that experience would be like? Because it's saying that is the deep yearning that we have, to know peace only, to know tranquility and contentment and fulfillment only. Because that is what is in our true nature. Until this happened. What happened, Oliver? Until the tiny mad idea of separation happened. You remember the prodigal son. You remember Adam and Eve, up until the point where an idea creeped into their mind about, is there anything outside of the comfort and fulfillment and contentment that is here? And somehow, some way, there was a tiny mad idea that said, yes, there is. And then we know the rest of the story. They lost all their peace, all their tranquility, all their safety, all their loveliness, all that got turned inside out, upside down, totally opposite. And they began to what? Feel pain and suffering, experience it, pain and suffering in every moment. And so here we are, in this time and space that we're in. I don't know where you are, your age, or your, any of those data about you doesn't matter. But what I do know is that this is the experience you're having if you're in time and space. You're having the experience of limitation. The experience of what? There's a body that you appear to be what? Identified with. And there's this entire ether of negative thoughts that are contrary to what we would desire. And there's almost like an atmosphere that we are pushing against what? Pushing against a whole army of constraint that we're trying to put a puzzle together that we have no idea about the pieces. And so that's the environment that we all kind of sense. We all kind of feel. Like there's not just an easygoing flow, that life is to be figured out. It says, and now we have a hint, not more than just the faintless information of the state that our mind will rest in when the truth has come. So this whole idea that truth corrects all error, and the correction will result in a state of mind that is content and fulfilled, at peace, at rest, resting in its loveliness, resting in its true reality, where all is one and one is all. There's no resistance, there's no opposites, there's no difference. There's only the tranquility. There's only the radiant beauty of what life is, of what love is. That is our nature. We know that, we sense that, but it seems to evade us. It says, without illusions, there could be no fear. See? Without illusions, there could be no fear. Without the false appearing as real. That's what illusions are. It's a falsity, giving the appearance that it is the truth, but it's not. It's a counterfeit. So it says, without illusions, there could be no fear. There could be no doubt, and there could be no attack. Can you imagine having a life that doesn't sense fear, doubt, lack, scarcity? A life that is free of loss, death, separation. A life that's free of everything that is that is not loving. Can you imagine that? Experiencing that? A life of only loveliness, all encompassing, no separation. Everything is in joy and in harmony. Can you imagine that life? It says, when truth has come, all pain is over. When truth has come, all pain is over. For there is no room for transitory thoughts and dead ideas to linger in your mind. So we're on the right track. We're working on this, renewing the mind, being transformed by the renewing of our minds. We're on the right track. We're in the right place. We're focused on the right thing, according to what this lesson is telling us. We're focusing on the right thing. We're focusing in the right place. We have found the problem and the solution, as we learned. But there's only one problem. There's only there's only one answer, and they both rely in the same place. It says, when truth has come, all pain is over, for there is no room for transitory thought and dead ideas to linger. Dead ideas to linger in our minds. Truth occupies our mind completely when it comes, when we're open to allow it in, to make the correction. It liberates us from all beliefs in the ephemeral, in the temporary. It says it right here. It says liberates us from all belief in the temporary, the ephemeral. In other words, we understand that the ephemeral is not the truth. And so it's not the basis for which we embrace or believe anything. It is but an effect of a separated world, or our belief in separation. And so we can reside with the ephemeral without having the ephemeral tempt us to believe that we are part of it, or we are of its nature. So we can be in the world, like Jesus said, but not be of the world, not be influenced by its illusionary foundation, or its foundation based on error, foundation based on mistakes, based on a fear, based on separation. So we can maintain an awareness that there is a idea of illusions that appear to be present and not be affected by any of it. Why? Because we look beyond that to the truth. We look beyond the illusion to the light. And so the ephemeral have no place because the truth has come, and they are nowhere. So in reality, it's like we wake up in this dream of illusions, this dream of separation, this dream of ephemeral, and we're not affected by the dream-like figures. We're not affected by the dream-like ideas, but we only embrace the truth because we are the truth. What God created is the truth. What God created is the way and the light. What God created is the awareness and the consciousness of that which is true, that which is real, that cannot be cannot be threatened. And the awareness of that which is unreal, that does not exist. Therein what lies the peace of God in the knowing of the being able to what? Knowing of the truth, the being able to what? Look past the error, to see the face of Christ in everything, to see the truth in everything. To know the difference between the real and the unreal is so important. It's so important. There need to be a class taught on just the real, what is real and what is unreal. That is so important to know. It says, they cannot be found, for truth is everywhere forever, right now. So the ephemeral cannot be found. The illusion cannot be found. The error, the mistake cannot be found where truth has arrived, where truth has been accepted. In your experience, because truth need no acceptance. It is what it is. But to experience it in your seemingly association with the body, you have to know something. There's something to be known. There's a knowing, because here it says the truth is knowledge. The truth is reality. The truth is the law of love or the law of God. And it is unalterable. It can't be changed. It is changeless. There's no other options. There's only the one option. And it's not an option. There's only the one truth. And the truth is what God is, what love is. It's what you are. So when truth has come, it does not stay a while to disappear or change to something else, like the ephemeral. It does not shift and alter in its forms, nor come and go again. Why? That's the ephemeral. That's the temporary. That's the illusion. That which is not real. Truth is not like that. It stays exactly as it always was, to be dependent on in every need, and trusted with a what? Perfect trust in all the seeming difficulties and doubts that the appearances the world presents engenders. So truth is our friend in that it helps us to remain stable in the face of all the appearances in the world. Where there is no truth as our foundation, there's what? Uncertainty, certainty. There is instability. There is doubt and fear. There's double-mindedness. There's duality. There's a belief. There's energy and there's life that's given to an idea that is not real. And we are doing this by use of our minds. By giving our minds allegiance. Allowing our minds to tolerate being undisciplined. That's why we're going through this course of discipline. And so these are the characteristics of truth, or the uncharacteristics of truth, however you might want to say it. It says the truth stays exactly as it always was, to be depended on in every need and trusted with all perfect trust, all the seeming difficulties and doubts that the appearances of the world presents engenders. They will merely blow away when the truth corrects the errors in our minds. All doubt, all pain, all fear will like blow away or disappear when the truth enters our minds and corrects the error. When truth has come, it harbors in its wings the gift of perfect constancy. Truth is constancy, permanence. Truth brings what? Stability to every situation, to every moment. It will bring stability into your life. If there's instability in your life, that means that what? Truth is not at the foundation of your life. Let's be real with it. Truth is not at the foundation in our thinking. When there's horror, when there's doubt, when there's fear, when we read things, when we hear things that are terrifying, and we embrace them as the reality versus the truth, and then we experience what? Trauma and drama in our feelings and emotions. That's an idea that we have not allowed truth to what? Correct the error in our mind, in our thinking. And you can't escape being here and being what? Exposed to the error, to the lies, to the deception, to the trauma and the drama, to the fear, to the dread, as what the world will what? Show you, as the world will appear to be. Always in a state of what? Always in a state of fussing and fighting and division and wrath and anger and prejudice and inequality. These are the messages of the world. And all of it's designed to tempt you to believe in its ideas. And we know that that is what we're doing when we what? Begin to what? Feel the feeling of these what? These false ideas. When we begin to what? Shake and quake over their reality when they're not real. And here in the end of April 2022, with what's going on in the world and all the messages and all the appearances that it is what? Putting in our awareness front and center, multiplied over and over. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know the difference between the real and the unreal, if you have not embraced your true identity as a shared oneself with the Almighty, with love, there is not constancy, there is not a balance, there is not an assurance and a certainty in your life. It is all designed to get you to buy into the lie, to get me to buy into the lie, to see what is not there. And even the more in this time and space, if you're not aware, if you're not confident and sure of who you are and what you are and why you are and where you are and when you are, and of the shared self that you are, the shared being that you are, you can be overcome by fear. You can be overcome by what? The lack of vision, the lack of true perception. And all you see is a world of destruction, a world that's falling apart, a world of illusions. And you're caught in the maze or the matrix. But there is a truth that will correct every error in our minds. And we are here sharing these truths. So when truth has come, it harbors in its wings the gift of perfect constancy and love, which does not falter in the face of pain, but looks beyond the pain. This love and this constancy looks beyond the pain of this world and this world appearances. It looks beyond the pain, steadily and sure, confident, knowing what the truth is. Here is the gift of healing. It causes healing. Truth is healing to the errors in our mind. It says, here is the gift of healing. For the truth needs no defense. It need not be defended. What reality is need no defense. Why? Because it's unalterable. Who you are is unalterable. Who you are by creation You are the loveliness. You are eternal. You are birthless and deathless. You are changeless. You are impregnable. You are what love is. Love is what you are. There is no death in you. There is no birth in you. There's no opposites. There is no beginning. There is no end. You are beyond time and space. You are formless. You need no defense. You need no what? You need no military buildup. You need no ego buildup to defend your body or to defend your person, the person that you've made, or your personality. You need no defense. And therefore, no attack is possible. And the reason you need no defense, because you realize what? There is nothing to defend. Attack is not possible. Because what? You're impregnable. And so it says what? Illusions can be brought to the truth to be corrected. So truth will correct all errors in our minds as we bring what? The illusions to the truth. As we what? Moment by moment, day by day, week by week, month by month, as we go through these training, and we realize that our fears have come from a belief and an idea that is not even real. Well, we bring that idea to the truth that we are learning, and the truth, what? The truth consumes the falsity, the nothingness. And all that's left is truth. And then there's no remembrance of the error or the illusion or the mistake. And in every moment then, what? There's only what? Only the truth. And so we honor that truth by what? Endorsing it, standing on it, being it, knowing it, sharing it. Base our entire existence on it, because the truth is our existence. And so therefore there are no attacks possible. Illusions can be brought to the truth, but the truth stands far beyond any illusion and cannot be brought to them to turn them into truth. We bring what? The illusions to the truth. And so today, as we bring the illusion of errors in our minds, the truth corrects every error. It says it here. That's why the title. Truth will what? Correct every error to our mind. But we have to be what? We have to bring it. We have to be willing to what? Acknowledge the difference between the two. And in that, what? Recognition is the disappearance of it. So truth does not come and go, nor shift, nor change. It's not fickle. God does not come and go and shift and change. Love does not come and go and shift and change. Reality does not come and go and shift and change. That which comes and goes and shifts and changes is illusions. So anything that comes and goes and shifts and changes, it's not real. It's temporary. So we can't put any credence in it because it is not the reality. So that which appears to come and go in our life and change and flux and flow, our body mind, our way of thinking that's way, these bodies that we're in, that's what always changing. We have to know that they're not real. This doesn't mean that they're not bad. That doesn't mean that they're bad. It's just that they're not real. That we can't base anything on them. We can't base anything on the appearance of them. Our basis for life, our basis for identification is based on the truth and the truth alone. That's why Jesus said, "You shall know." have a direct experience, is what he's saying. You shall have a direct experience with the truth of who you are, and the truth of who you are will set you free. Free from what? Free from error, free from the illusion, free from the mistake of believing that you're something that you're not. That's the one problem. That is the one answer. That's it right there. I just said it. I just made life so simple for all of us in that simple statement. And the simplicity of that statement I just made is the whole of life. Therein lies your joy, your peace, your happiness, in the embracing of the truth of who you are in reality. So truth does not come and go, nor shift, nor change. In this appearance, now and then, and that. Invading capture and escaping grasp. Truth does not hide. It stands in open light, in obvious accessibility. It's quite obvious. Truth does not hide. Truth is a light. Truth is everywhere. Truth is accessible to all. It's not a respecter of person. It does not hide. I like it. It does not hide. It is in open light, obviously accessible. It is impossible that anyone could seek it truly, can seek truth truly. That can truly seek the truth. It is impossible that anyone could truly seek the truth and would not succeed. Today belongs to truth. Today is a declaration of truth. It's the declaration of truth. This day is 29th day in April. No, 28th day in April is a declaration of the truth day. That's what we're going to declare. Give truth its due, and it will give you your due. What does truth do? Your allegiance, your credence, your endorsement. You really don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. There's no choice outside of truth other than deception. There's really no choice. It's unambiguous. There are not many choices. It's not like going to a restaurant and looking over the menu. Life is the only thing on the menu. You are the only thing on the menu of life because you are life. You are love. It says, it is impossible that anyone could seek it truly and not succeed. So our success is in what? Knowing the truth, being the truth, accepting the truth. Give truth its due, and it will give you yours. You will not meet. You were not meant, or none of us were meant to what? To suffer and to die. That's the what? That's the other option that appears to be another option. But there, in reality, that is not even an option. We were not meant to what? Suffer and die, because that is the what? Ego thought system. That is the vision we have of ourselves when we don't embrace the truth. To suffer and die. We came here to suffer and die. God brought us here to suffer and die. And we think of God as an unloving father with that what? Way of thinking. It says, your father wills this dream be gone. That's a dream. That's the dream that we're living in. The dream of birth, suffering, and dying. But your father willed this dream be gone. It is not the truth. Let truth correct them all. Allow truth to correct all errors in our minds. We're going to the source of things. We're going to the cause. We do not ask for what we do not have. We merely ask for what belongs to us. Truth belongs to us. Truth is us, that we may recognize it as our own. So today, we practice on the happy note of certainty that has been born of truth. The shaky and unsteady footstep of illusions are not our approach today. We are as certain of success as we are sure we live and hope and breathe and think. Today's lesson is about a certainty. We're entering into a place of certainty that we know without a doubt, without an unbelief, without fear. We know with a certain. We come boldly. Like the scripture says over there, that in the day of temptation, we come boldly. And we can boldly say, as he is, so are we in this world. As who is? As the truth is, so are we in this world. We're not in this world as an illusion. We're in this world as the truth. That is the confidence that we can have. That is the boldness where we can have. Hebrews says we can come boldly to the throne of grace and find grace in time of need. When do we need grace? In the time of temptation, when we are tempted by the appearances of this world to cower down to a false idea, to an illusion, to a mistake or an error, to believe in something that is not real. That is when we need what? To boldly confess, to boldly to come with certainty, would come with absolute certainty that I am not here to be born and to suffer and to die. That is not my inheritance. That is not what God has created. What God has created is himself, and he himself is an eternal being, and we share that same one in itself, same eternal being, that eternal one self. That is the truth that sets us free. That is the truth. Whereby we bring all illusions to that truth. And the illusions disappear in the face of truth, needing no defense. The truth needs none. You need none. You don't need to justify yourself. You don't need to justify your being. You are already justified. You have already glorified. You are already ordained. You've been ordered. You've been all of the things that ensures your loveliness, to ensure your permanence, is already done. It's a finished reality. It's a fixed reality of who you are. Dare not to believe that you're anything else. I don't care where it comes from, who it comes from, how it comes from. You are the holy home of God. You are the express image. You are the conscious awareness that is everywhere present. You are that. All activities, all events, everything else happen within you, not outside of you. There's nothing outside of you. There's nothing outside of me. You are it. You are the I am. Told you we're going to get into this thing about truth. We need to what? We need to know that it is the truth that is true always. It is the truth that is true always, that we remain as God created us. Believe not the lie of sin, guilt, and fear, of separation. Believe not the lie of inequality. You have equality with God. There is no difference between you two. Other than God, what? He is the creator, and you are his creation. And his creator and the creation is one. That's not a dualistic statement. It's a statement of oneness. So anything, any system, any doctrine that provides you with anything other than the truth of who you are, bring those illusions to the truth so that you don't suffer. There's no need to suffer. I don't care who it's coming from. They will tell you you have to suffer. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to be born. You don't have to die. That is an ego thought system that is remaking God in their image. I don't care who it's coming from. You better know who you are, or they'll convince you you're something else. They never could convince Jesus that he won't the very spitting image of God, that he won't bury God himself. He said it. You seen me, you seen it. I and my Father are one and the same. You can say that with certainty and boldness unless you embrace it. You have no truth to bring the illusions to. That is the truth that sets you free. So today we practice on the happy note of certainty that has been born of truth. The shaky and the unsteady footsteps of illusions are not our approach today. Our approach today is truth will correct all error in our minds. We are certain of success as we are sure we live and hope and breathe and think. We do not doubt. We walk with truth today and count on it to enter into all the exercises that we do this day. So today is a declaration of the truth. So begin by asking. We begin by making an ask. Ask, and it shall be given. So we ask him who goes with us upon this undertaking, that he be in our awareness as we go with him. We are not made of flesh and bone and blood and bone. That's not what we are made of. We are timeless and we are formless. It says, but we're created by the self-same thought. We are the thought of God. We are God's idea. We are made of the self-same thought, which gives the gift of life to him as well. The same life that God is, we are that. That same thought that God is, we are that. So the supreme reality is our brother. And so like to us, our Father knows that we are both the same. It is ourself we ask to go with us. It is ourself that we ask to go with us. Why? Because the one that create and the one that is created is the same. You and God are the self-same one. This is the truth. You and God are one. When we see you, we see God, because there's only the one. Get this in our thinking. This is the thought that corrects all error, all illusions. This is the way you get rid of pain and suffering. This is the way you what? This is the way you dissipate or dissolve fear in your life. Where you dissolve fear and where you lose sight of hopelessness. when you embrace the truth and bring all these erroneous thoughts that have bombarded our minds, all the conditionings of the world, we bring them to the truth of the light, and the light consumes it. We turn the light on it, and what? The darkness goes away. And never to return unless we will entice it to come back. We don't want that back. Who wants pain? Who wants suffering? Who wants fear? Who wants death? Who wants blood and bone and flesh to be themselves? Who wants that to be themselves? These temporary ideas. You don't want that to be who you are. To want that is to want death. To want that is what? To want to continue in illusions. You don't want to continue in illusions. That's where all the pain and suffering is coming from. Our belief in illusions. And so, this is the self that is with us. Or this is the self that is us. And how could this self be absent where we are if we're the same? How could you be absent? Ever from yourself? Because you're always what? Being yourself. You're always what? With yourself. And if there's only one self, you're never absent of God. You're never absent of love. So truth will correct all errors in our minds, which tells us that we could be apart from ourselves, or from God, or from love. That separation could be a possibility. Truth corrects that. Separation is an impossibility. It's impossible. Separation is an impossibility. That is what corrects all error. Separate from each other is an impossibility. That's what corrects all error. When you think that there's your brother is separate or your sister is separate from you, when your neighbor is separate from you, that's an impossibility. Now you see why the world is so messed up. So that's the basis of our thinking. And we need to wake up from that. That is a nightmare. That idea brings on nightmares. So much pain, so much destruction, so much confusion, so much lack of peace. And we see it. We're here in the smack middle of it. God has placed you in the smack middle of this illusion. And says, be the light in the illusion. Be the light in the illusion. Be the truth. Be the reality. Life is all there is. There is no death. So we speak today and make our pledge to let reality function be fulfilled through us. To share this function is to share this joy. And so reality's confidence, or our confidence, is with us. As we say, truth will correct all error in my mind. I will rest in this reality. I'll rest in this oneness, who is my own self, my very own self. Truth is my very own self. Then let this reality lead us gently to the truth, which will envelop us and give us peace so deep and tranquil that we will return to the familiar world reluctantly. So in our 5-minute exercise today, we just fully embraced the reality of truth. our oneness as truth. And that this is the truth that corrects all error in our minds. And so our focus is on what? Correcting the error in mind. Undoing the error in the mind. Releasing the error in the mind. Allowing the error in the mind to be consumed by the light or by the truth. That's all the same. And yet we will be glad to look again upon this world, for we will bring with us the promise of the changes, which the truth that goes with us will carry to this what? This world, to this false idea. They will increase with every gift that we give of 5 small minutes. And the errors that surround the world will be corrected as we let them be corrected in our minds. So it's in our minds. We're not to go correct the error in someone else's mind. The error is to be corrected in our mind. And as we do that, what? It opens up a space for errors be corrected in what? The minds of others. We read on yesterday where it says what? We read on yesterday where it says it says, for each 5 minutes spent listening, 1,000 minds are open to the truth, and they will hear the holy word that you hear. And when the hour is past, you will again release 1,000 more who pause to ask the truth to be given to them along with you. This is a finished work. So it's all about us, what? Waking up to the truth. So when we wake up to the truth, what this lesson is saying, and allow our minds to be healed by this truth, is that all minds are healed in that moment. When we wake up, all humanity wakes up. Because remember, there's only one. Everybody else is still sleeping, dreaming. So it only takes the one to wake up. You wake up for everyone. When you wake up for the entire species. When you wake up, you allow thousands and thousands and thousands to hear and to see and to be open. In every 5 minutes. Wow. See how important you are? See how much God has confidence, love has confidence in itself and what it's made. And it can what? And it knows what it made, and it knows what it created, and it looks at nothing else. Love looks at nothing else. God looks at nothing else but the truth. Well, we're born in a world that we're so distracted by all the other things that we lose focus of the one thing. So enlightenment, salvation, awakening is merely what? A return to looking at the one thing. It's but a recognition. A recognition of the truth. The truth that transforms all errors in the mind. Is this making sense to you? And so do not forget your function today. This is your function. This is my function. Don't forget it. Each time you tell yourself with confidence, truth will correct all errors in my mind. Say it with confidence because it's the truth. So each time with confidence, we declare that truth will correct all error in my mind. We speak for all the world and for him who would release the world, as he would see us free as well. Wow, what a lesson, man. Jesus was so confident in what God created that he said, I am the truth. Notice now, I am He said, I am the truth. I am the way. And I am the life. No one what comes to the Father, or no one recognizes the one self that he is, but by this what truth, this way, in this life. Jesus was not speaking about him as a person being the truth or the way of the life. He was speaking about the one truth and the one way and the one life that we all share. There's no options. There's no multiple, multiple answers. There's only the one, the truth. And we bring all other illusions to this reality. And we begin to experience the tranquility, the peace, the joy, the happiness that transcends. The nothingness. We begin to experience the truth that transcends all nothingness. That's the truth that passes this world's understanding. and that's what we already are. We just allow this truth to come in and make the correction in our thinking. The only block to the awareness of love's presence is the error and the mistake and the illusion in our thinking. Just that simple. All right, we're on to something. This is your day. This is your day of the truth. The truth that sets us all free. Thank you so much. I've been so just out of this world. I'm so out of this world grateful to be your temporary guide. But your real guide is the truth that is within you, that is you. And I point you to your reality. Thank you so much. This has been great. See you on tomorrow when we venture into lesson 108. It's going to be gooder than good also. So come back and we'll be here, same place. You can always find us here at Truly Foundation. Truth.